Welcome, Truth Tribe. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. If you are new here, I am Dawn Thompson. I am known as the Soul CEO Activator. I decode the boulders so you can design the life that you actually deserve, not the one that you were told to settle for. Truth Tribe exists for one reason: self-awareness, self-understanding, in your health, in your wealth, in your relationships, and all of it in between. And let me say this clearly, as I do on every call, you are already perfect. There is nothing wrong with you. We're not fixing you, we're remembering who you are. Also known as your momentum becoming your identity. We need momentum to move into who we are. No more practicing lives. No more practice lives. No more practice. I got to practice on my new life. No more old lives, past lives. It's all gone. Okay, so Truth Tribe this week is where we stop trying on the new you and we actually become who we are. Because here's the truth. Momentum doesn't come from hype. It comes it comes from integration. And integration means you don't go back. You don't keep replaying the old patterns. You have to see them. Patterns aren't bad. The mistakes aren't bad. The falling down and repeating stupid BS crap that you don't like about yourself, insecurities, all of it. It's not bad. It's a pattern. And a pattern that you put in your own birth chart to show you how to master an area that you need to lean into a little bit. The lie that we're done believing about ourselves, because most people think, right? I'll act confident when I feel confident. I'll raise my standards when it feels safe. I'll stop leaking my energy when things calm down. Nope, 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 nope. That's how you stay stuck in rehearsal mode. That's not a dress rehearsal. That is not a practice lifetime. That's not what you're here for. You're not here to practice your life. You're here to live your life, your best, most amazing life that you deserve. And you do not get an extra credit for suffering politely, for stuffing it all down and acting like you're okay when you're not. And when you're not okay, it just means you're repeating a pattern of unwanted, unhealthy habits that you just don't want anymore. It's done. You're done repeating old skin, old lifetime, old pants that you don't fit in anymore. You're letting it go. So, what does integration really mean? Integration is when your choices match your awareness. I'm choosing this and I'm aware of it because I want it. It's important and I validate me. Your boundaries will match your words. When you say you're going to do something, the boundary holds it. Your nervous system catches up to your truth, the inner soul CEO. And when your new identity stops being something that you visit, you think about, you want to manifest, and you start being where you live. You start being in yourself. You start being in that truth. And yes, this is the part where ego starts throwing a temper tantrum. If you've done my Elevate course, your shadow beast starts getting hangry for old morsels of cookie crumbs that no longer serve you and are total BS to your elevated self. Right? That's normal. Your ego can throw a tantrum. Your shadow beast can throw a tantrum. It's still not negotiable at this point. So, this lighthouse moment, I want you to think through why momentum feels uncomfortable. Momentum feels uncomfortable because your old identity has routines. Your nervous system likes predictability. Your past self knew how to survive in certain environments, so it knows what to do to stay on guard. But survival is not the same as alignment. And the lighthouse doesn't dim itself because the fog is dramatic, the storm is crazy, the lightning is loud. People, places, and experiences. So the last leak that you have to start paying attention to, and this is a big one, at this stage, most people aren't sabotaging themselves loudly, right? They're doing it quietly. They say, like, I'll deal with that later. It's not a big deal. You know it is. I don't want to rock the boat when you really don't want to even get in the boat anymore. Translation, I still don't feel truly myself. And so this week is about closing the gap. Money, relationships, self-respect, all of your self-talk has to be real talk. Momentum will show up fastest when you're in how you handle your money. You're really paying attention to it. How you tolerate behavior, how you respond instead of react. Right? You don't need a new strategy. You need a consistent identity. So stop asking, what should I do? Start asking, what would the version of me I respect do here? How am I showing up to respect myself? Then do that. Lean in, turn 180, go the opposite of your ego's needs. Do that every time, even when it's awkward. Okay, this is how karma actually releases. It's funny, I was wearing this sweatshirt. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. If you're on Spotify, you can't hear it. I'm holding up the arm of my sweatshirt and it says complete your karma. And as I teach all of you, karma is not about doing good, doing bad, getting bad. You're going to get what's coming to you. No, karma is completion. It's a massive lesson, a massive understanding about yourself and self-mastery. And once you've learned the lesson, the karma drops you. You don't have to do anything. So this is how karma actually is released. Not by avoiding discomfort, not by positive thinking, not by waiting for a sign like we did last week on St. Patrick's Day of like, wait for the luck to show up, my lucky leprechaun. It's not for waiting for a sign. Your angels typically are giving you signs and your spirit guides saying, go another direction. We have a better path. Karma completes when you respond differently than you used to, when you master the lesson that's in front of you. Same trigger, new response, cycle closed. That's growth. That's mastery. And that is momentum, right? When we look at numerology and astrology, the non-woo-woo spiritual bypassing versions, right? This phase that you're going through is identity cementing, laying the foundation for who you are and where you're going, right? Numerology wise, this is the I decide who I am energy now. The one energy, the one belief, the one new energy, the fire horse energy, all these things, these symbols that you're using, really all it says is this is who I am now and I'm moving that way. Not learning, not planning, but executing this. When you think about it astrologically, as all the things I teach, use your astrology chart as a map, not as a prediction, but who you are, lighthouse style. This is where your chart stops being information and future predictions and it starts being instruction. Instruction on your user's manual and how to use it at the highest level. Your growth edge doesn't need more analysis, my friends. It needs application. So your reality check this week, I want you to ask yourself honestly, right? Where am I still explaining myself instead of standing firm? Number two, where am I leaking energy out of habit? I did that just this week, just yesterday. I did something and I sacrificed my time, energy, and I caught myself after I did it. All right, it was a lesson. I learned it. Number three, where do I know better, but I haven't acted yet? Because this isn't shame, this isn't guilt, right? This is just simply that's your final upgrade point when you catch yourself in these places. So no more going back. There's no more going backwards. Momentum isn't loud anymore. It's calm, it's clear, it's non-negotiable. And you'll know that you're integrated when you don't need validation anymore, you don't over-explain yourself, and you don't argue with reality. Because your reality, the external world, reflects your internal world. So if you don't like it out there, it's time to start picking in here. inside out energy, lighthouse energy. You're the light in the center and you master 12 categories of your life. You just have to choose and move. So here's your activation. We haven't done this in a while. Just checking to see. Tap into your thymus, your nervous system, right? This is what's reactivating your immune center. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. Right here. I know courage. I know love. And I know truth. As always, at the end of all my calls, if you want help tightening this into your real life action and saying reality doesn't look like what I want it to be and my boundaries, my money, my worth, stop leaking my energy. I want to keep it in. I want to go from the inside out. Start with reality check reset. If you've already done it and you're like, now done, been there, done that. If you're finally ready to go all in and see all 12 categories and how to make power moves from the inside out, tap into Soul Masters 180. Details are always in the notes below or on my social media because this is now an opening for you to understand this is not about becoming someone new. This is about finally staying who you are, stable, unmoving in your lighthouse because that's the life you deserve, the one that's aligned with your soul's CEO. Have a great week. Brightest blessings. Take care.